welcome back to the shop. I wanted to take a minute, let you see the modifications or the upgrades I have made to my Harbor Freight Central Machinery wood lathe. It's a 10 by 18 wood lathe, which meant 18 inches between the centers, but I've added an extension to it. And the extension adds another 18 inches, so I've got about 36 inches between centers now. And I made the upgrades to it with one thing in mind, which was to give it a little more power and a little more versatility. This wood lathe is a very good beginner's wood lathe. It has plenty of features. The one feature that I did not like about it was that its motor that it has is anemic. This motor is a 1/2 horsepower motor, and its maximum speed is 1700 RPMs, but that's just the spindle of the motor turning. It actually gets more speed on the upper end with the pulley system here. But the upgrade that I did, I found a PSI motor on eBay. This motor is a direct replacement for the Harbor Freight motor. This motor being a 1/2 horsepower. This motor is a 3/4 horsepower. It's, like I said, it's a direct replacement there. But I wanted variable speed. This is a DC motor, and when I ordered this thing, I kind of had an idea of what was wrong with it. They said that it wasn't functioning properly. They said that it was running the wrong way for a wood lathe. In other words, it was turning clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And so what I did is I opened up the control box, and as I looked at it, I discovered that it was wired backwards. Whoever had tried to use this motor when it was new hooked it up backwards. So the motor was running backwards. They didn't understand the polarity of each one. So instead of just switching the plugs around on the inside, I added a reversing switch to it. This motor being a DC, it only came with being able to turn one way. Well, I changed that and put this reversing switch in there, which changes the polarity on the motor. And once it changes the polarity, it'll go from forwards to reverse spin there. It go from counterclockwise spinning to clockwise spinning. And then when I put that on, I needed a way to tell how fast the motor was going, so I added a tachometer for it. This tachometer is operated off of a 9-volt battery. I'll eventually wire it into the control box, but it's running on a 9-volt battery, and it has the sensor up at the top up here on the spindle itself there, and it turns with that little magnet you see. That actuates the sensor, and you can see that the turning back and forth there. Anyway, that's how that works. And I thought it was a really good control for the motor here. But to show you how that works, I've got it plugged up now. And I have two switches here. It has a forward and a reverse. Up is the reverse, and forward is down all the way, and it's got a position in the middle there. And when I turn it on, nothing happens until I put it in its position. And if you look, you'll see turning counterclockwise for the lathe to operate. Then I stop it, and it stops really quick. And then I go the other way. And the only reason I wanted the reversing switch on this lathe was to be able to sand both ways. Watching other videos, I discovered that when you can sand both ways, the product that you're turning gets even smoother. So that's just an overlay of what I have done so far to this lathe. And I think it's a pretty good starter lathe. It's a pretty good beginner's lathe. When you get one, if you buy one from Harbor Freight of this Central Machinery, they have another one, a Bauer, that is real good. And it's a lot like this lathe is now, in that it does have variable speed to it, but it does not have a reverse. Since it's a DC motor, you can make it a reverse through the control panel. You'll just have to investigate how to do that. But be careful that you don't tear your lathe up. And I have really enjoyed this so far, and I'll